NFL.
Tony Romo and the Dallas Cowboys in Kansas City. Can they go above 500 before their bye? And it's a day in which there are 5 undefeated teams. Tied for the most we've ever had going into Week 5. Brandon Jacobs and the Giants head home for the first time since opening day. We're here on Sunday NFL Countdown. That looks like Ernie, of course. We know the big game this week.
A reunion at Mile High.
It's a student versus a teacher.
Familiar coaches collide as the 3-1 Patriots try to ruin the Broncos' unbeaten season. And who dey?
I want to see the Ocho Cinco that loves football.
After knocking off the Steelers and Browns, the Bengals now face Ray Lewis and the Ravens for the lead in the North.
I want winners.
And with 3 W's in a young season, they're starting to look the part.
This team gets better each week.
Now, the 49ers play host to Matt Ryan and the Falcons. Plus, Donovan McNabb back under center in Philly.
Excited about getting back out there on the field.
Week 5 is here. We're ready. Are you?
IBM presents Sunday NFL Countdown. And now, here's your host, Chris Berman.
And a hello and a happy Columbus Day weekend to everybody. There's land ahead and there's football ahead. Week 5 of Sunday NFL Countdown. I'm Chris Berman, and just as Christopher Columbus discovered a couple of years before the merger, the earth not flat. Here to prove it, Coach Mike Ditka, right? You know that.
I was with him. I knew it.
Keyshawn Johnson, you don't remember as far back as when Columbus played, do you?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, he was pretty good, though. Chris Carter, you know, although you think the Vikings were here first.
Yeah, but my mom thought so much of them.
Yeah, but very good, very good. And Tom Jackson, I know you and Coach, we're with Columbus.
It's all good.
It's all good. And speaking of a couple of sailors, Mort and Adam will be with us a little bit later, and we have many other who crossed the Atlantic with us on this show coming up. I'm a history major, what do you expect? Columbus never made it as far as the Rocky Mountains. The boats don't go there. But the big late game today is worth discovering. The surprise 4-0 Denver Broncos put their credentials to the test against perennial contender New England 3-1, who come into town just after the nation's first cold front moved through. Snow, ice, and the like. The last time the Patriots came into Denver, the 05 season, they were double losers in the regular season and in the playoffs when the Broncos dethroned the 2-time defending champions. It was the first postseason loss together in 11 tries for Tom Brady and Bill Belichick back then. 4 years later, they're back, and in Denver they find a Broncos team that's given up only 26 points in 4 games, and a head coach, Josh McDaniels, who before now was offensive coordinator and quarterback assistant with the Patriots, to the base of the Rockies, and Ed Werder.
Boomer looks and feels like December. Josh McDaniels doubts his Patriots' knowledge will decide today's game, but it won't be for a lack of effort on the part of the Broncos head coach. With what he described as a sense of excitement in the building, McDaniels told me he involved himself more than normal in defensive meetings throughout the week to provide insight on Tom Brady, other Patriots players, and the New England scheme. He also told me this was a week everyone in the Broncos organization, coaches and players, stayed the latest to work. And McDaniels still can't be sure that Bill Belichick won't outsmart him today. Boomer, one final note, Broncos quarterback Kyle Orton, no interceptions this season, taking off the glove he's been wearing to protect the fractured index finger on his passing hand.
Although I had everybody else in the stadium with gloves on, we'll get back to you a little bit later. Notice we sent Ed to the coldest place. There's snow on the ground. Although it's going to be, see, you did that with me week 1. But it's supposed to be like in the 50s by the game. The front moved through last night. It's going to be better. Fred Taylor out, ankle surgery. Don't know if that'll be out for the year yet. They hope to get Mayo. We'll see later on. But on to this game, and we have plenty on it. Tom Brady and the Patriots offense beat Baltimore last week. against the Denver defense, which we gave you the numbers, with a touchdown a game allowed. Advantage here? How does this play out, Tom?
Well, the advantage, I think, goes to New England if they stay balanced. And the Denver Broncos, either by game plan or by execution, have to make the Pats one-dimensional so they get a chance to rush the passer. If they can do that, I think that you have some guys up front, Elvis Dumervil versus Louisville versus Matt Light, who gets a chance to take advantage of that matchup, but that's only if you can make them one-dimensional.
Yeah, but you have to listen to Ed's report and Josh's knowledge of Tom Brady. And Tom Brady had a lot of success in the National Football League, but his greatest success came in the 2000 season where Josh was calling all those plays. I believe that that insight will have an impact on the game more so than Belichick and his experience over Josh.
I think Tom Brady will have an excellent game, and not because Josh McDaniel is not knowing everything that's there. I think it's because of Wes Welker. Wes Welker's there. They have a shutdown corner in Champ Bailey, just like the Jets did a couple weeks ago with Darrelle Revis, taking Moss out, but Wes Welker wasn't there. Now Wes Welker is there. Tom Brady can use him as a security blanket, move the chains, get those 5-6 extra yards. I think Tom Brady has a good game.
Well, you know, I'm going to go back to one thing I always say: coaches coach, players play. I mean, you can have the greatest game plan in the world. They're going to know what they want to do, both teams. The players got to go out there and execute. The key is going to be pass protection. And if they can pass protect Tom Brady, I think they're going to win the football game.
You know what gets overlooked just a little bit here? Just to jump back in for a second. You know, Wes Welker, Brandon Stokely. I'm not saying he's Wes Welker, but you've got that same kind of guy. Randy Moss, Brandon Marshall. You know, Eddie Royal, Joey Galloway. I mean, who wins that battle?
You know what I'm going to say.
No, Sean Marino. I know, but the quarterback, you are correct. The quarterback's so much better. But when you look at the matchup overall, at the skill set, I think that the Broncos are in a lot better shape than people give them credit for.
You know what I find interesting, and I think you guys will agree with me, especially when the Patriots won when McDaniels was a young assistant under Belichick in 01, 03, 04. What the Patriots do, I think better than most, certainly this decade, is they have an entire understanding. The offense knows what the defense is doing. I don't mean what call or we're blitzing on this play, but we have an understanding of the 60-minute game plan. Yeah. And I think now that if the offense can get, let's put Denver, see if you can score 17 points by the middle of the third quarter. What kind of team does Denver have then?
Yeah,
now, to Denver's credit, New Orleans changed the way they won games 3 and 4, that, we're not scoring that much, we can win. But can New England make Denver play a different sort of game? And that's the overall knowledge of what they're trying to do. One thing is for sure, at least thus far, I mean, 4 weeks don't make, this doesn't mean to print it. But the last 3 quarters of the 26 points the Broncos allowed, only 10 have come in the last 45 minutes total of the 3 games. So can they score, and can they just get Denver out of their comfort zone early? See what kind of game we got. We got plenty more on this game to come. Ocho Cinco, the Bengals have won 3 in a row. They're playing for first place. They're in Baltimore. We've only just begun on this Columbus Day weekend edition of Sunday NFL Countdown.
Still more ahead on this mile-high matchup. It's the student versus the teacher.
He has been so instrumental in my development.
Who will have the upper hand today? Josh McDaniels or Bill Belichick? Plus, it's a side of Jared Allen many will not see.
That I want to absolutely hurt the guy across from me.
You're about to learn what makes this wild man tick. And down and out in Dallas?
What is the state of Tony Romo's career right now? You would have to say overrated.
Where is Tony Romo on the overrated scale?
There are moments when time seems to stop and the world holds its breath. Because life isn't measured by the number of breaths you take, but by the moments that take your breath away. Celebrate those moments with ESPN Classic, the official FIFA World Cup films on ESPN Classic.
Better hurry up, man. You're not playing Dayton today. Ho, 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 ho! Santa Claus is here. Huddle up. Time is of the essence. Solo right snug. Oh, I like that. Good.
You guys are a good player. Both of you guys are old, though, and very high maintenance.
Play your game now. Yeah. Have a little fun. Work through the kinks.
Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
Hey, Jeff, that's downright nasty, brother. Hey, I've been coaching 25 years. I've never seen that. You're 6'5", 3. After I get done with you, you're gonna be 5'9". How the hell do you call that? Well, call it on Tom Brady, will ya? Call it on those guys. Come on, hey, one stop. One stop.
Third down, 18. Dropping Gannon, looking Gannon, looking Gannon. There it is. The dagger's in. We're gonna win the Super Bowl.
Yeah! Super Bowl, baby! Boom, boom, boom!
Monday Night Football on ESPN America. Catch some of the weekend's best plays and get an inside look at the big game with Monday Night Countdown. Then it's showtime as the Dolphins return to Monday Night Football, looking for a win against the New York Jets. Monday Night Football, only on ESPN America.
Injured Eli, but will he sit out? Certainly doesn't look like it. We'll get an update from Sal shortly in the show. Always arriving in style, our stardom and sit-em duo, Matthew Berry and Merrill Hodge. Myrtle, what do you got?
Hey, boom. Well, here's what we got. With the bye week, guys like Drew Brees are sitting out, so people are looking for somebody to fill in. Not that you're going to necessarily replace Drew Brees, but let's start with the starts. Who are we going to start? How can we help people out there?
Well, a guy that's available in a ton of leagues in a bye week, Matt Castle. You know, Cutler, Rogers, Rivers all out as well. And you know what? Castle's had double-digit fantasy points for 3 straight weeks, Merrill. 2 touchdown passes each of the last 2 weeks. Cowboys 29th in the NFL against the Pals. When the Chiefs are down, they're going to be throwing. Castle will wind up with the points.
All right, now listen, I'm going to work with you on this one. Not necessarily what I want to start him, but if I've got to, here's one of the reasons why. He does have great touch. And listen, points, whether they're garbage points or design points, they still work and help you fantasy-wise. So he could be a guy that can relieve some of that pressure. Who else you got?
Yeah, junk time still counts in fantasy, Merrill.
I like these junk points.
Well, Nate Washington is a guy who's going to get it. You know, he leads the Titans in targets, and that's a good thing considering Tennessee 4th in the NFL in passing attempts. Washington has scored in 3 straight weeks. It's going against that banged-up Colts secondary. They're going to have some rookies on the field. I think when they're down, they'll be throwing, and Nate Washington's going to have a big day.
Okay, it's about junk points, right? As long as we're scoring, fantasy owners love us. Now, the one thing I love about Nate Washington, he knows how to separate. He knows how to run routes, climb the defender, get in a position where your quarterback can throw the football, and then make a play on the ball. So, I like Nate Washington.
Those
are starts.
Other guys I like this week, David Garrard, Jerome Harris, Marshawn Lynch.
Over Castle.
Yep.
Hey, go to our sits.
All right, guys. Guys I don't like this week, Carson Palmer, 5 turnovers in 4 games.
You're kidding me.
He has yet to throw for over 250 yards this Merrill, and he's at Baltimore.
I don't know. I know Baltimore's good, but I wouldn't sit him.
All right, Steve Slayton. You know, the Cardinals have had 2 weeks to prepare.
That's a travesty. You can't sit this guy.
Dude, Cardinals are 6th best in the NFL against the run. I'm sitting Slayton. And Thomas Jones on Monday night. Miami's even better against the run, Merrill. They're 2nd best in the NFL. They're going to have to beat Miami by passing, the Jets are. Jones is sitting on my bench.
I wouldn't sit Jones either because the Jets will need him. We're not getting along today.
No.
All right, where will you be next?
Fantasy football now. For more start-sit debate, it starts at 11:30 Eastern on ESPN2. Come join us.
And for Verizon Wireless users, you can manage your fantasy team with ESPN MVP on VCast. Boom, we're done.
Ooh, a little controversy on the sit-em list. We'll watch the games together, fellas. Need the latest on your favorite teams? Countdown Daily, presented by IBM. Is your team covered every day? Breaking news, game previews, matchup breakdowns, and post-game recaps on ESPN.com. We're just getting started. We'll be back.
What's up, NFL people? This is Kobe Bryant, and I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Just kind of hanging with this fool with the buzz cut back here. But I guess you'll find out later on Main Event.
And He's back.
You never know what you have until you miss it. Donovan McNabb usually is Superman to the Philadelphia Eagles.
As Donovan returns, TJ tells Philly fans why they need to appreciate their QB. NFL.com. Play NFL.com's Playbook Challenge and Touchdown Challenge fantasy games today. Stardom Sit-em is brought to you by Verizon Wireless, America's most reliable wireless network.
It's where the Lions are white and the Buckeyes are fierce. It's where the Seminoles face the Hurricane and the Yellow Jackets swarm the Terps. It's where the Irish fight and the Trojans charge. It's where the Longhorns battle the Aggies and the Eagles face off with the Hokies. It's where the Gators rule the jungle. This is college football, and it's back and at home on ESPN America.
Got his man. Touchdown.
It's where spirit counts the most and rivalries never die. It's about tradition and pride. It's about today and tomorrow. It's American football played from the heart. Catch all the action all season long and witness the glory. Watch tomorrow's legends play in games today. College football is back and at home on ESPN America.
Of all the things you accomplished in your career, which accomplishment are you most proud of?
I think winning the Stanley Cup, I think, was our main goal here in Montreal, to win the Stanley Cup as many as we could. Unfortunately, we didn't win it every year, but I won it 5 times, and I think it was just fantastic.
Any one goal stand out in your mind as maybe the most special of your career?
Yeah, the one that Don Cherry really liked.
Coming out rather gingerly on the right side. He gets it into the man back to the foot.
You know, the 1979 tying goal, and we won in overtime by a goal from Yvon Lambert, so it was great.
Hey, look, I need a little bit more from everybody. Let's go now. Let's get the running game started.
McNabb goes to Westbrook. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown!
Ryan Westbrook is one of the NFL's most dynamic running backs.
Nobody runs the screen better than Ryan Westbrook.
Able to break the long run or get the tough yard, the two-time Pro Bowler is the key to Philadelphia's success.
You are watching Sunday NFL Countdown, presented by IBM.
Excited about getting back out there on the field, moving around a little bit, and getting this offense going.
When it's all said and done, we'll be one of the all-time greatest to play that position, so that's always good to get that kind of a player back in there.
Donovan McNabb arriving at the link. His first action at home this year. He's been hurt. Everybody happy to see him back as the Eagles in Philly are hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now our tip drill. It has been a week off for 2-1 Philadelphia, but 3 weeks on the sidelines for Donovan McNabb. The cracked lower 2 ribs on his left side, they're better, and he's back for an Eagles team playing his 3rd straight game at home today against 0-4 Tampa Bay. The veteran Eagles, like McNabb, must see fire when they view the Bucs. Tampa Bay beat Philly in the final game at the Vet in the 0-2 title game, opened the link in 0-3 with another win over the Eagles. That was back when Key and Coach Gruden were bunkies. Tommy, all eyes, though, on Donovan McNabb today, huh?
Well, Boom, first of all, Philly fans need to have more of an appreciation for the greatness of Donovan McNabb. Michael Vick did not come there to replace Mac 5. When you look at Donovan McNabb, the tip is look for the offensive line to be a little bit extra protective of him today. They're used to seeing him do things with his legs, make first downs, get touchdowns. The play on which he got injured and has missed a few weeks happened with him running for a touchdown. I think that what you're going to see this week is him doing things from the pocket, and the offensive line will have to help him do that. Boom.
Tommy, football fan, certainly Eagle fan, but first time all season now, Donovan McNabb, Brian Westbrook, Michael Vick will play healthy at the same time. All those Eagles offensive weapons, it'll be interesting to watch. I expect 10 to 12 plays of all sorts for Vick. And Jeremiah Trotter, by the way, signed during the bye week for Philadelphia, back on the Eagles. Under Andy Reid, Philly 10-0 after a bye. NFC East rival Washington is 2-2. Sure doesn't feel that way. Nevertheless, at 500, they play at a team in more dire straits than they. 0-3 Carolina. The Panthers have had a bye week to retool a team that's tied for the NFC's best record a year ago at 12-4. And they want to make amends their worst start. They want to make their worst start since 1998, a distant memory. As for the Redskins, well, they've had a chance to make some hay with their early schedule, except for opening against the Giants. I mean, look at who they played. But, I mean, they lost to the Lions. They barely beat the Buccaneers and the Rams. Today they play another 0-for team with the Panthers. Key, Jason Campbell, Jake Delhomme at quarterback need to change their 09 resumes, don't they?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna go with not Jason Campbell, but I'm instead going to go with Jake Delhomme at the quarterback position. So, you know, I think if they do the things that they're capable of doing, running the football and running it hard and playing with D'Angelo Williams as well as Jonathan Stewart. And here's the tip. Limit Jake Delhomme throws and you'll be successful.
All right, Keith, thank you for the tip. The Detroit Lions, Calvin Johnson, can they pull a huge upset against the Steelers? It would be huge. But hey, last two games for Detroit, they're 1-1. We'll be back.
Tipped and caught. Snoopy's got it. Holy cow!
The first quarter of the season is in the books. Don't miss Boomer's top 10 plays from the season's first 4 weeks. Plus,
positive about that,
our insiders, Mort and Adam, with info you can't miss. The latest Sunday headlines from around the league. Next.
College football on ESPN America.
Touchdown, Auburn!
Catch the best games from the gridiron every Saturday.
Touchdown, Notre Dame!
Travel across the U.S. with a college game day team.
And the Tigers handle the lead.
As the top schools battle for BCS glory.
Touchdown, Oklahoma! What a great call! And the Gators have taken the lead.
College football every Saturday, only on ESPN America.
For the widest choice of official North American sports merchandise, for the perfect gift to collect or just to look good and support your team, visit espnamerica.com.
As if you couldn't guess, Mongols are no lightweights, as physically they are the largest ethnic group in all of China. And by competing in the Mongolian wrestling tournament at the Peasant Games, they become the stars of the show. By playing a game that has been around since the days of Genghis Khan, the Mongols are able to show off their talent to all and, at the same time, keep their tradition alive as well. Mongolian wrestling involves 3 important factors: size, strength, and skill. In the end, both gladiators go into their traditional dance depicting their ancestors. Stay tuned for more amazing games here on ESPN.
Fitzgerald, the Japanese fighting fish.
You can't stop that guy. Jump ball, you bet. Fitzgerald, of course, with the grab. He's in double coverage. It doesn't matter. Fitzgerald makes a great catch.
They ran the freak fade. This guy does it week after week after week.
Monday Night Football on ESPN America. Catch some of the weekend's best plays and get an inside look at the big game with Monday Night Countdown. Then it's showtime as the Dolphins return to Monday Night Football, looking for a win against the New York Jets. Monday Night Football, only on ESPN America.
Braylon Edwards being investigated for allegedly assaulting a man outside a nightclub.
It seems like there's a little jealousy going on with Braylon and me and my friends. I have no idea why. For him to do that, I think it's just very childish.
Cleveland Browns have traded wide receiver Braylon Edwards to the New York Jets.
You know, Braylon Edwards is a rare talent. He doesn't have to put the team on his shoulders.
Freeing myself of a situation, coming to another situation, I think it's a fresh start and a clean slate.
First-round draftee wide receiver Michael Crabtree comes to terms with the 49ers on a 6-year contract.
I'm very excited to have Mike Crabtree be a part of this team.
Oh, it's a lot of relief, off my shoulders, and I can't wait to get in this locker room with my teammates.
What we saw on the film in college, let it be on the film in the pros. It's as simple as that.
Well, it's as simple as that. But Morton, Adam, you guys are going to make it more complicated, aren't you? Good morning.
Good morning, Boom. 2 Thursdays ago, Browns rookie running back James Davis went through a practice, aggravated a shoulder injury, and wound up tearing his labrum. He'll have surgery this week in Alabama with Dr. James Andrews. Now, how he suffered the injury is the real question. 2 eyewitnesses said Davis was not wearing pads in a post-practice drill, and he was hit by a linebacker who was in pads. 3 other men have corroborated that version of the story. The Browns have said it is not true. The NFLPA said this week it's outraged by what happened in Cleveland. It will seek perhaps filing a grievance, and the NFL has been aware of this situation and is looking into it more.
Well, you mentioned the NFLPA. You know, at least 7 players have spoken out negatively since they heard that conservative talk show radio host Rush Limbaugh is joining Dave Checketts, the St. Louis Blues owners, in a bid to buy the Rams. A bid, I'm told sources say, falls between $700 and $750 million. NFL Players Executive Director DeMaurice Smith responded Saturday with an email to members of the union's executive committee regarding Limbaugh's bid. The bottom line from his statement, here it is, quote, I've spoken to the commissioner and I understand that this ownership consideration is in its early stages, but the sport in America is at its best when it unifies, gives all a reason to cheer, and when it transcends. Our sport does exactly that when it overcomes division and rejects discrimination and hatred. More on ESPN.com on that as we move along.
How about that, Morton? Look who jump-started the negotiations between the 49ers and Michael Crabtree. None other than MC Hammer. He was at a function in which Eddie DeBartolo was being inducted into the 49ers Hall of Fame. He saw Jed York, the 49ers owner. He said he knew Eugene Parker. He said he knew Michael Crabtree. He helped get the 2 sides together. The meeting probably would have happened anyway, but he helped end a 71-day holdout. Barack Obama wins the Nobel Peace Prize this week. Maybe it should have gone to MC Hammer.
Maybe it should. Maybe it should. Well, Chiefs coach Todd Haley won't get one of those. He was on Bill Parcells' staff with the Jets in 1998 when the Tuna pulled the entire coaching staff off the field during a lousy practice and let the players figure it out. On Friday, Haley got fed up with the players' practice, ordering his coaching staff off the field. Chiefs players were puzzled at first, but then veteran linebacker Mike Vrabel, guard Brian Waters, and tight end Sean Ryan took charge, reorganized the practice, ran it from the script, and, well, did their job. It may not work against the Cowboys at Arrowhead today, but Haley's message was clear. Players have to take ownership too, Adam.
And more, a report this morning on Yahoo detailed Randy Hanson's allegations against Tom Cable. First time Randy Hanson spoke out. His version, don't doubt it, but there's another version too. The NFL and the Raiders believe there might be another side to this story.
And Hanson admitted that he broke his jaw when he was pushed out of his chair by the head coach, Tom Cable. Commissioner Goodell is not meeting with Cable this weekend, as some thought he might, but if he gets charged, then at some point, Cable has a chance to be disciplined here. We'll be back.
Be alert. You got to win.
questionable hands, questionable decisions.
Stupid is as stupid does. That's all I'll say about that. But be careful what you wish for.
Now that Braylon Edwards and Michael Crabtree are off to fresh starts, which receiver will have the bigger impact this season? And a giant dilemma. Should Eli play or should he sit? We're live at the Meadowlands. Next.
No $1 million contracts.
Big catch! Touchdown, Notre Dame!
No trade deadlines.
Williams with a ton of time in firing. Caught! Touchdown!
No holding out.
And in trouble, and down he goes.
This is American football, played from the heart. College football is back and at home on ESPN America. Step onto the gridiron and see the dedication. Feel the excitement and witness the tradition with another season of heart-pounding action. Follow your favorite teams as they battle their way across the nation to take claim of that #1 ranking. Show your spirit all season long. College football is back and at home on ESPN America.
It is gone. Home run for Torrey Hunter. Team leading home run number 11.
Torrey's a special player. This guy's all about playing the game, playing it right, and winning.
How about Torrey Hunter? A double and 2 more RBIs.
Torrey continues to drive the Angel bus.
Going back is Ellsbury. He can't make the catch. Hunter to third with a triple.
23 RBIs, club record for the month of May.
The shape is the signature. The horseshoe. A living landmark, sculpted by seasons. Stadium and stage, where sellouts never cease and demands never lessen. Today, another team and another test. And across Ohio, the horseshoe will roar.
Wide open receiver. Touchdown. Oh, my.
The Gators strike again, dominating favored Ohio State. Touchdown, LSU. 31 unanswered points.
Momentum is like a freight train right now.
Touchdown, Trojan.
It's men and boys right now.
Getting ugly, folks. Real ugly.
Patriots receiver Randy Moss gained over 1,000 receiving yards for the 9th time in 2008. His 9 career 1,000-yard seasons trails only Jerry Rice's 14 for the most all-time. In 2009, Moss will be reunited with quarterback Tom Brady, who missed nearly all of 2008 with a knee injury. With Brady at quarterback in 2007, Moss set an NFL record with 23 receiving touchdowns.
To mow down opponents like the 1-3 Oakland Raiders. The silver and black come in their last 100 games, they're 25-75. Their quarterback, Jamarcus Russell, is throwing for 39.8%. Their most recent #1 draft picks come in with a thud as well. Last year's stud running back, Darren McFadden, 6 carries for -3 last week against Houston. Then he got hurt. He's out 2 to 4 weeks after knee surgery. This year's stud wide receiver, Darius Hayward-Bay, according to our Russ Baxter research, has more names, 3, than catches, 2. To the Meadowlands and Sal Palantonio. Hi, Sal.
Good morning, Boom. How are you? Eli Manning came out to the field here at Giant Stadium about 35 minutes ago and started warming up. You could see that his right foot was heavily bandaged. He's obviously got some support to deal with the plantar fasciitis and the injured plantar fascia tissue under his right foot. He was throwing just fine. He had a lot of velocity. You can tell that his mechanics have not been interrupted by the problem that he's had in his right foot. As we know, he took all of the snaps in practice on Friday. When I talked to Manning as he came out onto the field, he told me, I had been planning to play all week long. after we get done with this warm-up, he went into the locker room and he told me that he and Tom Coughlin will make a, quote, intelligent decision about whether to start. They just gave out the injury report, and they don't know whether David Carr will start or whether Eli Manning will start this game. But I expect Eli Manning to make his 83rd consecutive start. Usually, Boomer, I start by, let's go right to the news. Well, the news is I'm not sure who's going to start.
Well, then that's news, Sal. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Back to the wings at Connie Mack's there for your radio show in Philadelphia or in New Jersey, wherever you were. We'll hear from you a little bit later. Giants schedule after this. So if you're wondering, should Eli start, should not, on paper, at the Saints, against the NFC champion Cardinals, at the Eagles, and against the Chargers before a bye. That's what's coming up after this week. So, look, should Eli sit a week, Coach? He's a guy that always wants to play. He doesn't know, but still, you look at it, should it be David Carr? What do you think?
Well, he should sit, but he's not going to sit. He's going to play. I tell you why. This injury is not going to be any better in a week. It's going to still be the same pain. It's like somebody takes a nail and drives it up into your heel. That's what it feels like. Now, I played with it. You inject it, you can numb it, you can tape it, but you know, it's not going to go away. Now, he's fortunate because he plays quarterback. He doesn't have to do a lot of cutting, but he does have to plant.
Well, Coach, you need to stop that. Every time you come on this show, you always talking about this guy shouldn't do this. Do you remember how tough you forgot when you used to play? Coach, come on now. You have to play in this game. We're football players. This is not basketball.
$100 million. They pay this guy $100 million.
Coach, your personality would not change. You are a product of your environment. Do you remember his dad? 12 seasons in the National Football League,
you're right.
No winning season and made it to the Pro Bowl. Oh, his brother, we'll forget about them 180 regular season starts yet. You are a product of your environment. He has no choice but to play regardless of what Coach says.
Number 2 and 3 on the consecutive starts, listen, and I think you have it right. It's in the genes. It's inherited. Archie didn't play for good teams, but he was one of the toughest guys to ever step on a field. He passed that down to Peyton. Peyton passed it on down to Eli. I have a daughter, Taylor. She plays soccer. She's as tough as nails on the field.
I wonder why.
And I enjoy it because I know she got some of it from me. So, yes, Coach had it right. Should he not play? I don't know. No, should he not play? I don't know. He's going to play. It's a moot point.
Y'all said it all. I don't think I need to go. I need to go back and recover from 2 seconds ago.
Go on, man. Back to you, Boo.
But, you know, if he's capable of playing, then he should play. If it's not a lingering injury that will affect him as you look at the schedule.
Would you play? Stop.
It's not a matter of whether or not I know I'm going to play.
That's what people want to know. People want to know, would you play?
But they playing the Raiders. Why play him and risk further injury? They playing the Raiders.
To pad your stats.
Man,
come on now. You know you're a little selfish.
Tomato can.
Kick it.
Hey, boom. Look, you play David Carr if he can't play. You don't want to risk injury going into New Orleans. That's the bottom line. If he can play him. If he can't, sit him.
But it's not one of those things that, like you said, rest a week or two.
It probably won't be any better next week. Especially if he plays this week. I'm telling you that right now.
He plays. Today I was enjoying playing against Jamarcus Russell, under 40% completion. The Giants have the #1 pass defense in football. How that's going to work out. From fantasy football now, best place to get that last-minute info, help your lineup, set your lineup for today, fantasy football. It airs every Sunday. ESPN2. We'll be back.
The season's first quarter is in the books. So, who is getting the top grades?
Brett Favre is already a legend.
The most impressive, the biggest disappointment from the season's first 4 weeks. And is the NFL overprotecting the quarterbacks?
It ain't about nothing else. It's embarrassing. He's a man. They can be hit just like us.
Wait until you hear what TJ thinks.
Over the past few years, Donovan McNabb took more hits on the field and in the media as he transitioned from a running quarterback to a pocket passer. But as the number of his scrambles went down, his completion percentage rose. Now, with a retooled offensive line and Deshaun Jackson leading the deepest receiving core of his career, the Eagles hope McNabb will have a career season.
Winner goes to the Super Bowl. Warner takes it to pitch to Arrington. He's going to throw. Now Warner going deep, airing it out, middle of the field. Vince is there. He caught it at the 10. Touchdown!
Super Bowl, the Arizona Cardinals are the NFC champions. When nobody else believed in us, you guys did, and we're going to the Super Bowl.
NFL on ESPN America.
Missing the postseason last year, that was a big deal. Deep right field, it is gone! High fly ball to right. Back goes Drew. All the way back to the wall. Gone! A home run! Drew can't get it. Just in front of him.
And the 2-0. There it is. For 72 years, Lou Gehrig has been the Yankees' all-time hits leader. Now, it's Derek Jeter.
Back to Rivera. Have won the American League East. And the great Rivera was center stage to wrap it up.
Night Football on ESPN America. Catch some of the weekend's best plays and get an inside look at the big game with Monday Night Countdown. Then it's showtime as the Dolphins return to Monday Night Football, looking for a win against the New York Jets. Monday Night Football, only on ESPN America.
That cold front coming towards Kansas City, sweeping across the plains. Temperatures in the low 40s for the Chiefs at home against Dallas. New part of our show, the weather around the league. What a week. Close to 100 in Florida. Snow in the Rockies. ABC's Good Morning America's Marisol Castro. Good morning.
Hey, thanks so much. The calendar says it's autumn, but if you look at the weather maps, it feels more like winter. Take a look at Denver. Today, 4 o'clock, Tom Brady takes his Patriots to Denver to play against the undefeated Broncos. It will be very chilly, 42 degrees. Winds coming out of the east at 6 to 11 miles per hour. Your 1 o'clock games look a lot better. Redskins at Panthers, 72 and very mild. As far as the Bengals at Ravens for that AFC North showdown, well, it will be very nice and a very balmy 67 degrees. You probably just need a light jacket. That's all we have for now. Back to you.
All right, the front moving across the middle of the country, but not to Miami. Monday Night Football, 3-1 Jets at the 1-3 rejuvenated Dolphins off a win last week. And hope you enjoy that at 8:30 Eastern Time. Of course, we're on with Monday Night Countdown. Served, Tom, by Applebee's going into the Dolphins-Jets game from South Florida at 7 Eastern. 90 minutes to get you set, which we do all afternoon long here on ESPN. We'll be back.
Coming up on Sunday NFL Countdown, a lot of controversy over protecting the quarterback. I'm going to take you into the mindset of a pass rusher.
And in Denver, Josh McDaniel faces his old mentor. I did the same when I was in Chicago. I'm going to tell you why this could be a no-win situation.
You know, in other sports, when things aren't going good in the mid-season, teams make changes with the head coach. And I'm going to tell you which team should look at that.
And if I had one concern in Minnesota with the undefeated Vikings, Key, it would be with Adrian Peterson. You're going to be surprised. Hey, stay with us. We got more of this coming on Countdown.
When rain descends on an NFL game, it usually means it's time to run the ball.
30 runs for a first down, 40, he may go!
But with the right set of hands, the pass can still be dangerous. Even in the coldest weather, the best can still get hot.
Back to pass. Long throw down the field, and Owens is open. Touchdown.
In the NFL, sometimes the stars can run between the raindrops.
This next amazing game shows just how much fun it can be to race a truck. Racing large trucks requires great skill and control, as these 4,000 pounds of metal don't manoeuvre as easy as Formula One race cars, although these guys do make it look easy. And of course, these huge beasts have just as much contact as the more mainstream races such as NASCAR and Le Mans, and believe me, they stir up just as much excitement. The big race is a day away, and the mechanics work long and hard preparing the trucks for the rigours of the upcoming events in an effort to become the next champ. Stay tuned for more amazing games here on ESPN.
What a play. College football on ESPN America. Catch the best games from the gridiron every Saturday. Travel across the U.S. with a College Game Day team.
And the Tigers hand to the lead.
As the top schools battle for BCS glory.
What a great call. And the Gators have taken the lead.
College football every Saturday, only on ESPN America.
Steelers are in Detroit, a place which Ben should probably, and his mates, they've enjoyed the scenery. And we'll explain that in a minute. Now more tip drills here. The 2-2 Steelers surely looked like defending champs last Sunday night when they sat on San Diego early. Come on, Chargers. Then they allowed the Bolts to make it look close, winning 38-28. The veteran Steelers, as we said, sure will like today's surroundings. Ford Field in Detroit. Their last visit there resulted in the Super Bowl 40 win over the Seahawks. Their last regular season visit at the Lions, the Silverdome. You might remember back in the 90s that Thanksgiving overtime coin flip snafu. That's ancient history. Today's foe, the 1-3 Lions, probably look like they're sitting Matthew Stafford in favor of Dante Culpepper. Coach, but boy, the Steelers got back to old-time football running the ball last week, didn't they?
Well, it really is, and the key to this football game is not Big Ben. It's Rashad Mendenhall. He had a great game last week. He looked like the same back I saw at Illinois. I look for him to get the ball early and get it often, and the Steelers will go back to playing Steelers football.
All right, Coach, the new butts, the 2-2 Houston Texans, try to venture over 500 in their first ever trip to Arizona. They play the defending NFC champion Cardinals, who had a week off to stew about their 1-2 start and their last outing, which are home crumbling at the hands of Peyton Manning and the Colts. This could actually be a fun game to watch, an offensive showdown if Kurt Warner and Matt Stump the Shop are on their games. And Chris, we certainly expect that from the wideouts, don't we?
Oh, great matchup, Boom, from the wideout position. Offensive extravaganza, Larry Fitzgerald, Andre Johnson. Last year during the postseason, Larry Fitzgerald, we saw the spectacular. During the regular season, the best wide receiver was Andre Johnson. This offseason, working out with Larry Fitzgerald, I just kept telling him, Andre Johnson's the best in the league. I got a tip for you, people. Watch this game. I don't know who the best wide receiver in the National Football League is, but it's one of these dudes, Boom.
Well, we'll watch it, Chris, that's for sure. Carson Palmer and the Bengals playing a first-place game in Baltimore. That preview coming up when Countdown continues.
Just 5 undefeated teams remain.
I'm going to give credit to the Denver Broncos because this defense is for real.
But what is the fatal flaw for these Fab Five? And who Day?
I'm looking forward to making them kiss the baby.
Day in first place. But are the Bengals true contenders for the AFC North crown? We're live in Baltimore for Cincy's battle with the Ravens. Next.
The band that wouldn't die.
It's about loyalty. It's about tradition. It's about spirit. It's about giving it all and asking for nothing. This is college football, American football, played from the heart. A new season begins on ESPN America. Catch all the action from conferences across America and find out who has what it takes to reach number 1. Can the Florida Gators defend their national championship? Or will this be the year of the Ohio State Buckeyes, the USC Trojans, Penn State Lions, or the LSU Tigers? The BCS trophy is up for grabs. Who will take it? Watch tomorrow's legends play in games today.
And in trouble, and down he goes.
College football is back at home on ESPN America.
Making sports history in hockey as Jackie Robinson did in baseball, Willie O'Ree of the Boston Bruins, a native of Fredericton, New Brunswick, is the first Negro to play in the National Hockey League.
Willie, Barack Obama's election
What do you think it could do as far as helping diversify the NHL even further?
Well, I just think it's just tremendous. First of all, you know, to have a black man in the White House, and you know, not only United States and Canada have been watching, but everybody from all over the world. And I think that the diversity program, I think there's going to be more kids now that yes, we can. I mean, there's going to be boys and girls that can come out and they're going to say, I can do anything that I set my mind to do. Here's a man that's, you know, is an African-American and is the president of the United States. I mean, it's a great thing, and I'm just happy that I'm alive to have watched this and be a part of what's going on.
What I'm going to next. Hold up.
I got my list back up this year. I'm looking forward to making him kiss the baby.
Hold up.
I'm gonna Ricky Bobby. Help me, baby Jesus.
Somebody.
I'm gonna score right now. I'm gonna score.
Well, fun times in Cincinnati at long last for the Bengals, who have won 3 straight in exciting fashion. Late, you'll remember at Green Bay. Late, you'll remember against Pittsburgh. And an OT at the very end last Sunday at Cleveland. Were not for Denver's Week 1 Hail Mary, the Bengals could be 4-0. Were not for a late stall drive at New England last Sunday, the same could be said for the Ravens. They could be 4-0. Today's game at an angry Baltimore is for sole possession of first place in the NFC North, a division that includes, of course, the defending champion Pittsburgh Steelers. The Ravens are 16-7 overall under John Harbaugh. 12 of those 16 wins have come by double digits. Cincinnati has other matters on its mind, though. Vicky Zimmer, wife of defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer, died unexpectedly at home Thursday night. She was just 50. We go to Rachel Nichols now in Baltimore. Needless to say, Rachel, everybody on the field is thinking about her and about him.
Yeah, Boomer, no question. You know, several of the Bengals told me that they were surprised when Mike Zimmer showed up yesterday to travel with the team. They said it was an emotional moment. He told them he would be on the sidelines today, had to fight back a few tears. Now, he's here with his son, Adam, who is an assistant coach with the Saints, and a couple other family members. And he's also got, of course, his extended family, his players. Linebacker Ray Maualuga, very emotional, telling me that the players are determined they will win this one for their coach. Quote, there is a fire on the defense, he said. You'll see. Now, the Ravens obviously much more focused on the field. They had meetings with league officials this week about quarterback contact. Defensive players swear they will still be aggressive today, violent even. Although Chad Ochocinco told me that in watching film, he saw holes in that Baltimore secondary, particularly over the middle. Although, Boomer, I got to tell you, even Chad, you saw trash talking a little bit earlier this week, very affected along with the offense, the defense, everyone with the Zimmer news. Chad's been telling guys around the team the last couple days, hey, just hug someone you love.
Well, that's certainly advice, Rachel, for everybody at all times. And obviously, and I'm sure the Ravens feel it too, but the Bengals, and you know they're going to play very hard for their coordinator, Tom. I mean, not that they needed this to try. I mean, I don't think they need this. That's the wrong term.
No.
They felt they may be able to pull an upset anyway. Can they, with all this going on?
They're a pretty good football team, I think, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But that's a special relationship between a coordinator and those defensive players. I mean, that's kind of your guy. I mean, there's always a head coach, but that's your guy. And they're going to bring a little bit extra to the field today. I think offensively they became balanced with Cedric Benson running the football. Carson Palmer took him 4 years, I believe, to get back to where he is right now, but he looks like he's back. He's got some weaponry. The thing I worry about, there's 15 to 20 plays of special teams that you have to play every single game. It's about a third of a football game. The Bengals are not very good at it. The Ravens, because of John Harbaugh, they're really good at it. And I think that really that's where the game's going to be decided. But I'm going to be watching that defense to see that extra emotion that they bring to the game.
And Tom, you talk about the extra. When you're a football family, you spend so much time together. And then when you have someone like a spouse pass away, and we as players, like, we not necessarily feel responsible. We feel somewhat responsible for the emotion because the husband is with us a lot of the time. And a lot of time they're not with their family. So a lot of that, we understand the absence of it, not having his wife. So you can believe that these guys, in the course of a 16-game season, we're looking for that something to give us that little extra bump to get us over the edge. They will play hard for Coach Zimmer today.
And that's the extra bump that they're getting right now. But I think you look at how can they pull this upset. They can attack the Baltimore Ravens secondary. outside of Ed Reed, I think the rest of those guys are pretty vulnerable back there. You look at what Phillip Rivers was able to do, Tom Brady was able to do, Carson Palmer and Ocho Cinco could do the same thing.
Well, you know, they're capable of pulling the upset. I mean, and, you know, the motivation is going to be there. But if you look at Baltimore, they're better on offense, they're better on defense, they're better on special teams. They're converting over 50% of their third down conversions. That's a pretty good football team. John Harbaugh has done a great job with his football. If they win, it'll really be an upset.
What's the difference for them is that next to the Saints, they've scored the most points in football. I mean, a lot of people don't know that the Ravens score a lot of points. At Cincinnati, you talk about emotion already. After that loss to Denver, which was hard to explain in opening week, what have they done? They've pulled off those 3 wins. So they've already gut-checked themselves, and this is different. So keep an eye on this. A lot of emotions on the field because, you know, Baltimore comes in not thrilled with last week at New England. We will be back.
Coming up later, Christine Taylor, the wife of actor Ben Stiller. She hates it when I do that. Anyway, Christine will be bringing football back to Los Angeles.
And
what is the state of Tony Romo's career right now? You would have to say overrated.
CC and TJ on who has some splaining to do in Dallas. And Jared Allen had 4.5 sacks Monday night. The calf rope simulating, celebrating Viking sack man gets unmasked. But first,
there's many things that we do differently, but the concept of how we win is the same, and I don't know why you'd want to change it.
Plucked from the Bill Belichick coaching tree, what undefeated Josh McDaniels learned from his teacher.
Loads it up. Looking end zone. Has Lansmore back there. He catches it. It's a touchdown for the Saints.
And Breeze ends the season with 5,069 yards through the air. The second NFL player to pass for 5,000 yards in a season.
NFL on ESPN America.
Texas Western takes the first major sports title the school has ever won.
In one of the biggest upsets in NCAA men's hockey history.
Look at Irvin Magic Johnson.
And now you can see it too. The greatest college sports video library of all time. Introducing the new NCAA.com, the official site of college sports.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Did that get out of here in a hurry? 2 hops to Lewis. Here comes the throw home. It's there waiting. The pass is out.
Lewis coming in. Lewis is going to dive and make the catch. Watch Freddie Lewis go. That's called triples alley, folks.
Lewis with his speed will get to third easily.
He's exciting.
2008 was a big year for Steelers linebacker James Harrison. In addition to becoming a Super Bowl champion, Harrison also took home the hardware for NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Harrison is a perfect fit at outside linebacker for Pittsburgh. His 16 sacks ranked him 4th in the NFL, but his ability to drop into coverage and make plays is what sets him apart.
Anger is going through my body.
As if Jared Allen weren't scary enough sacking quarterbacks, now he's got an axe.
If you can get in that guy's head, his play is going to suffer for that.
And are the quarterbacks getting too much protection?
It's embarrassing to let a defensive player play his heart out and you call something like that.
TJ's take on the league's latest controversy. Ahead on Sunday NFL Countdown.
Welcome back to Sunday NFL Countdown, everybody. And back we go to big game, late kickoff, Patriots at the Broncos. Denver. Josh McDaniels was a valuable member of Bill Belichick's coaching staff from 2001 through last season. You might remember those Patriots won 3 Super Bowls and were under a minute away from a 4th and a 19-0 record. So even though the new Broncos head coach has started 4-0 and has the Mile High City in their own tizzy, he's long learned that a football season is a marathon, not a sprint. Among other lessons from Coach Belichick today is his first opportunity to show his mentor what kind of attentive pupil that he was. Here's Ed Werder.
Just do your job. Just do our job and get on to the next play. Just do your job. All right, don't try to make too much out of it. Let's spend a little more time focusing on our job.
That single Bill Belichick phrase, encompassing what is known as the Patriots way, now become a team-first admonition painted in bold team colors at the front wall of the Broncos meeting room.
It's not about me saying it anymore. They say it just as much as I say it. And I think that shows that they believe in it.
Then there is the upbeat music blaring throughout practices.
You know who this is. No. Yes, you do. This brings you back to the days when you were back with me in New England.
And finally, there's the unmistakable game day ensemble. Josh McDaniels wearing the familiar Belichick-style hoodie.
I don't wear a cutoff. I roll the sleeves up a little bit, you know, on game day. I think I've only worn it once or twice this year.
It seems quite apparent that the Denver Broncos acquired a considerable amount of Bill Belichick in hiring his protege, Josh McDaniels.
The references to this becoming Foxborough West were not offensive to you. It's what you wanted to achieve.
I mean, I don't really care what everybody, you know, characterizes us as in terms of the relationship that I have with the people in New England. I'm not Bill, but the concept of how we win is the same, and I don't know why you'd want to change it.
Like Belichick, McDaniels is the son of a football coach. He started as an entry-level assistant in the personnel department. 6 years later, he was the offensive coordinator, calling the plays when Tom Brady threw an NFL record 50 touchdown passes and the Patriots shattered the league scoring mark, all in 2007.
What were the qualities that became immediately recognizable to you that this was a guy who could coach in the NFL?
Well, Josh is smart and can handle a lot of tasks at once. You can give him 10 things to do, and he seems like he's right on top of all of them. And then you throw a couple more on there, and it doesn't faze him.
Every opportunity that he gave me, I always did as well as I could possibly do. So when he gave me something to do, a responsibility, there was no way I was going to let him down.
And one of the biggest upsets in NFL history, the Giants have beaten the previously unbeaten Patriots.
2 weeks after the loss to the Giants in Super Bowl 42, Belichick handed McDaniels, who despite the Patriots' historic success received no job interviews, an updated manual he wrote himself on what it takes to become a head coach.
He was always willing to give me information that about, you know, becoming a head coach, that, you know what, was it going to help him? I don't know, you know, probably not. But I think that's one of those things that nobody really, you know, sees a lot of and talks a lot about.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to help any of our assistants with situations that are better than what I can provide, to help them somewhere else to move up in another position.
I will always be indebted to him for that, because there's no way I would have been as prepared for this kind of a job had it not been for Bill's influence.
Under Belichick, McDaniels learned how to handle a crisis. Everything from the Spygate allegations to Tom Brady's season-ending injury last year. This helped McDaniels when confronting turbulence, ranging from the trade of Jay Cutler to suspending Brandon Marshall.
You know, I'm sure that Josh has implemented things that he's found success with, and a lot of those things he brought to us, or we did them together.
What's the greatest lesson you learned from him?
It's not about tricks. It's not about gimmicks. It's ultimately about what your players do. And each week he came into our meeting room with a simple message. It wasn't 15 things we had to do. It was 3, you know, maybe 4. And that works. You're going to buy into it, and you're going to believe it every week.
Well, interesting to see. Certainly, as you would expect from McDaniels to Belichick, a lot of respect, but obviously the same shown backwards from Coach Belichick to his young assistant, now head coach of the Broncos. Thank you, Ed. Before he was that offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, he was a defensive assistant to start Denver +7 in turnovers, -17 last year, so we didn't forget that side. But let me go to coaching against your mentor, Coach, because it assumes, I would assume that's really tough going in. Yes, you want to win the game, and no, you're not scared of him, but you coach against Tom Landry. What do you remember from that?
Well, you're trying to prove a point. You know, the first time we lost the football game, boom, we really probably should have won. The second time I coached against him, we beat him 44-0. Now, you people say, well, was it great coaching? No. I had better players. There's no question about it. That's the year we won the Super Bowl. I had a better football team than he did. But I learned everything I did as a player, as a coach. Rather, I learned everything from Coach Landry. Not only about football, but about life and how to handle people. And I'm still trying to work on that handling people, but I can handle this cookie.
Well, look, if people want to question, you know, who has the advantage in coaching, it's Coach Belichick. This is a Hall of Fame coach with multiple championships, both as a coordinator and as a head coach. So you search. Let's say hypothetically I'm a Bronco fan. Let's say that I'm rooting for the Broncos.
Hypothetically.
So, hypothetically. Yeah. So you search for that edge. Where could Josh find an edge? Well, I've been in your locker room. I coached your players. So when I look at a guy, and I'll give you an example, you take a guy like Matt Light, and I saw James Harrison last year, 2 sacks coming around the corner, 2 forced fumbles. Elvis Dumervil, the same kind of player. So maybe, you know, you heard Ed say earlier in the show, Coach spent more time in defensive meetings this week than ever before. Well, that's the kind of stuff that he was sharing with them. This is what this guy can do. This is what we can take advantage of. Little slight edge right there in that one area.
Yeah, quick point, Tommy. I think Josh McDaniels is also talking to Denver and their defense that this is my offense. I developed this offense. I called those plays. When they had their most success, I was there. And there's certain nuances in running the offense key that you know the guy's calling the plays. He's going to give that to the defense and help them out.
Well, he's going to sit in there, like you said, with the defense for long periods of time and tell them exactly the little nuances, the signals, what he can pick up. But he also, like you mentioned, boom, he was on the side of scouting. He was an assistant, a quality control guy on defense. Also, in practice through our training camps, he was a guy who had to game plan his offense against New England's defense. So he gets it, but on the flip side of things, that guy across the field from him knows all that. So I don't look at Belichick and say, oh, he's going to stay the same. He'll call the game different. He'll call it different. Plays will be the same, but he'll call it different.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame coach, and you know, I don't care. Bill Belichick, the one thing about him, whether you like him, don't like him, he prepares his team. They're prepared every time they go on that field for anything that can happen.
Here's one thing that McDaniels has. There are 6 former Patriots on the Broncos, 5 who played for the Patriots last year, including one of the best long snappers, Lonnie Paxton. Actually, one of my favorite plays, the intentional safety years ago at Denver. He snapped it off the upright. That was him. He's snapping for the Broncos today. But here's what nobody said. Belichick also knows how McDaniels might call a game. Okay? So let's not that.
Yeah.
And I just think, going back to you, I remember how hard it was for a guy we respect, Tom Coughlin, to beat his mentor, Bill Parcells. It took a long time to get that going. And I think it's very tough. Now, the snow in Denver on Columbus Day weekend, a perfect backdrop for the Broncos announcing their 50th year all-time team, because it was about this time 25 years ago that Tiny Tom Jackson, number 57, in the snow on a Monday against Green Bay. Tom and the defense had things going, and as the Broncos announced their anniversary team today, he'll be at linebacker, along with, obviously, Randy Gradishar, together again, as it should be. Congratulations, Tom.
Man, that dude was a bum.
And I went, what else?
57 was a bum.
What else are they doing? They're wearing the striped socks before your time.
I don't want the striped socks, though. I don't want them to wear the striped socks.
So that's going on in Denver again today. Congratulations, Tommy. Mort and Adam, not on an anniversary team. Who's in, who's out?
But our congratulations to Tommy as well. Listen, Matthew Stafford is not playing for the Detroit Lions today. Dante Culpepper is getting that start. That's not a surprise in light of that knee injury, but he's not active, which means he's not going to be dressed. He's not the emergency quarterback. And what's interesting about this is that Jim Schwartz, the coach of the Lions, because they were playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, was hoping that Stafford could play because he thinks that's part of the education process is playing against those big-time pressure teams, but it's going to be Culpepper.
Well, Mort, the Steelers will be shorthanded themselves today. Troy Polamalu, who was out on the field before the game, walking around, trying to get ready, has been deactivated for today's game. It looks like he could be on track to return next week against Cleveland, but no Polamalu today. And also Willie Parker, the Steelers running back, also inactive.
The Cleveland Browns are looking for their first win. Last week, Jamal Lewis, the running back, was inactive because of a hamstring injury. There was some question about him, but he is active today. I still think Jerome Harrison, who did a nice job last week against the Bengals, will get some carries for the Browns against the Bills.
More later today, the Seahawks play the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Matthew Hasselbeck is expected to start despite this rib injury. Now, there's been a lot of quiet about the rib injury. It turns out Matthew Hasselbeck has 2 broken ribs. He's a tough guy. The fact that he can be out there today against the Jaguars with 2 broken ribs is a testament to Matthew Hasselbeck. And also, we should note later on tonight, Joseph Adai, the Colts running back, who's listed as questionable, is expected to play against the Tennessee Titans.
You know, the Bengals and the Ravens have a big game today. And Jared Gaither, the Ravens left tackle, suffered a neck injury last week. He's not going to play. Rookie Mike Over, their first-round pick, moves over to that left side again, and he did a pretty good job last week. The right tackle is going to be a guy named Marshall Yanda. Remember him. He's a pig farmer, Boomer. A pig farmer. Marshall Yanda, right tackle for the Ravens.
Sweet pig. Thank you very much, Mort. We'll keep that in mind. He's good in the slop then when they have one of those games. All right, Sunday stretch, Key. Let's start with that big game, Bengals at the Ravens.
I'm going to go out to Baltimore. Look at Chad Ochocinco playing good this year, having a pretty good year. Anytime the Bengals start to get on a roll, we're always going to hear from Chad, so I hope he continues his success.
Keyshawn, let's stay there for that game, and I'm looking on the other side of the football. Ray Malaluga has brought attitude to the Cincinnati Bengals defense. You know, people say heart and soul. This is a guy who's creating some turnovers and playing good special teams for him.
Heart and soul, Tommy, I'm headed to the link. I know Boom was there earlier this week. Hope you left some cheesesteak. McNabb is the heart and soul of the Philadelphia Eagles. If they're going to have great success in the regular season or the playoffs, it's going to be on the back of Mac 5. Regardless of what people say, lack of appreciation, Tommy talked about it later. If the Eagles got Super Bowl aspirations, that guy right there going to be driving the car.
Well, I'm going to go up to Detroit, and I'll tell you what, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the commander-in-chief of the Pittsburgh offense, Big Ben Roethlisberger, he does it every way possible. He is the heart and soul of this offensive football team.
Well, just remember that Dante Culpepper starts for the Lions, and there is Calvin Johnson. He was limited in practice all week with a thigh injury, but he is playing, and I know Dante Culpepper thinks this is a guy a lot like Randy Moss was when the two of them were together in Minnesota.
This is what we know so far about Eli Manning. He is active today against the Oakland Raiders. However, the Giants have not yet announced whether Eli will be starting against Oakland today. We are awaiting official word, and we'll bring it to you as soon as we have it. But Eli Manning has started 75 straight regular season games. It's hard to imagine him not making it 76.
Well, we're looking for the Dallas Cowboys, Tony Romo, to pass the ball against the pass defense, the Chiefs. It's not the best. Remember, opening week against Tampa Bay, they were firing it all around the yard. Can Dallas put up enough points to get the Chiefs out of the game, or will they keep the Chiefs interested in a possible upset special, the game we're going to now? 50 seasons ago, the Dallas Cowboys were a first-year expansion NFL team playing in the Cotton Bowl, as were the Dallas Texans, among 8 first-year teams in the brand-new AFL. The year was 1960. By 1963, the Texans, reigning AFL champs, were moved by Lamar Hunt to Kansas City when, with Len Dawson at quarterback and Hank Stram as coach et al. Today, these two franchises renew acquaintances at Arrowhead. The Cowboys 2-2 with a bye week ahead of them. They're looking to fatten up on the Chiefs, who are 0-4 for the first time since 1980. They've dropped 8 straight overall. To the Heartland and Michael Smith. Michael.
Chiefs head coach Todd Haley knows Tony Romo very well, having coached Romo with the Cowboys as recently as 2006. And he knows that his former pupil prefers to push the football down the field rather than to check it down. So look for the Chiefs defense to throw blitzes at Romo to rattle him, but also throw some prevent looks at him, dropping 8-men into coverage from time to time. Haley's seen Romo struggle against that prevent look in the past. Making the task more difficult for Romo today, he's going to be without wide receiver Roy Williams and running backs Felix Jones, both out with injuries. Guys?
All right, Michael. Well, interesting. See if the Cowboys can run it. So after that good start, which we mentioned against Tampa Bay, obviously Dallas offense not quite, although they ran the one game against the Giants. How much of the 2-2 start is on Tony Romo in your mind, Key?
You know, I think Romo's played okay. I mean, that's what you're going to get out of Tony Romo. That's been him pretty much his entire career. I look at the coaching staff, though. I look at Jason Garrett as an offensive guy, and I look at Wade Phillips as a head coach who supposedly is this defensive guru. When you look at the coaching staff, down and distance, scheme, where they put the players to make plays, all those sorts of things, and I really don't believe Jason Garrett has lived up to that billing. You question the move a week ago. You're throwing the ball to Sam Hurd. And now I also say in other sports you look at baseball, you look at basketball, maybe hockey. I don't follow it much, but they get rid of coaches in the middle of the year to try to get to the playoffs.
They do.
It may be time for, you know, that phone call from Jerry to pick up and start seeing if Mike Shanahan wants to come in the middle of the year and coach his team to get in the playoffs. I don't care. I'm not trying to bash Wade Phillips. I'm not trying to hire. That's not my deal. I'm just speaking the truth. That's what I'm paid to do. They need a new coach, period.
Look, I don't like to give a whole lot of numbers. I think our viewers can grasp onto this, though. 25 runs for 74 yards last week. So 12 of them come in the first quarter. They're leading 10-0. They are running the ball at a rate it's going to be 48 for the game. They ran 13 times the rest of the football game and put the ball in Tony Romo's hands, and they end up losing in Denver. That's not Romo's fault. You know, run that football, and let's get to the end of the game and get back on the plane and go home. And they didn't do that. That's not Tony Romo.
Well, I think the expectations in Dallas, Tommy, are too high for Tony Romo. And the reason why is because of Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells had his career on the right track as far as not being a celebrity quarterback. Tony Romo has the wow factor. He makes all these spectacular plays. You watch his highlight reel. It's unreal. But the thing about Tony Romo that's different than him than Ben Roethlisberger and Eli is that he's a wow quarterback. He's not a right-now quarterback. And when you need him in big spots, Tony Romo will not come through.
But look, real quick before Coach goes, that's coaching. You coach him up to be successful. Don't make those throws. Here, you got your best guy, and you go ahead and talk about it. Well, you talk about the best guy on offense.
But I don't believe that he's overrated. I believe that he's overhyped. And I think
what's the difference?
Well, he's overhyped. First of all, he's a Dallas Cowboy quarterback. You know, and guys, I'm telling you what, quarterback in Dallas is a little bit different. It is a little bit different. The expectations are great. You had Staubach, you had Aikman. All I'm saying is, all he can do is the best Tony Romo. And he's got to have help from the coaching staff. I agree with you.
Put the ball in Jason Witten.
Absolutely.
But that's coaching.
He's a tight end.
That's coaching.
All right.
Big picture, Dallas, other than that loss, that opening Sunday night, well, week 2, they opened the stadium against the Giants. They don't play in that tough NFC East until November 8th at Philly. So can they get up ahead of steam before they face the division schedule? That's big picture Dallas. We'll see them at Kansas City today. Now, let's see. What can the Minnesota Vikings do for an encore? 2 Sundays ago, a play that'll live for the ages. Brett Favre to Greg Lewis, the back of the end zone at the gun to beat the Niners. Then last Monday night, a rousing performance by Favre and his Vikings teammates as they beat rival Green Bay to go to 4-0. The highest rated game in the history of cable TV. We thank all of you for that. Rod Stewart sang it. Brett Favre is showing it. Forever young. Yesterday was birthday number 40 for number 4. And Mort and Adam back there singing. Good job. Happy birthday, Brett. Today, Favre and the Vikings hope to keep the party going in St. Louis. Well, the Rams are 0-4 for the 3rd straight season. They've dropped 14 straight overall. Also hoping to keep his party going, Jared Allen, off his 4.5 sack Monday night. We slowed him down just for a moment. Here he is unmasked.
Every game, every play, I chip away. With every collision, every blow, every chop, their will gets closer to breaking.
He's sacked! It's Jared Allen! Jared Allen!
Every play and every game is like chipping away. You never know which play is going to be the play that changes the game. You want to win on every play, but you're not going to win on every play. So you got to know how to set those losses up so you can't be successful. Getting to the quarterback's a lot similar. You got to chip away. I use my hands a lot. That's my weapon. Whether I'm chopping a guy's hand down, pinning an elbow, flipping a hip, speed rush, speed rush, speed, I might break the rhythm with an inside rush. That I want to absolutely hurt the guy across from me. When you beat an offensive tackle, there's no greater feeling. If you can get in that guy's head, you're kicking the crap out of him. His play is going to suffer for that. You see the backside of that quarterback, and he has no idea you're about to smack him in the back of his head. Everything kind of slows down. You just tee off as hard as you can. Usually sounds something like, you know, all their air is coming out. You could beat somebody up and not get in trouble for it. You just got to keep chopping wood. You're not going to split that log with every single chop. With every single chop, you're getting closer to the end result.
And that one belongs to the calf roping specialist, Jared Allen.
I mean, that was quite a night for Jared Allen, by the way, chopping more than just wood. All right, so Minnesota 4-0, the Giants, New Orleans 4-0 in the NFC, Denver and Indy 4-0 in the AFC. If we are to look at an undefeated team and say, I'm not yet sold on this part, Chris, pick one. What are you looking at?
Well, I have to look at Minnesota. And the reason why is that because for me, I don't believe in dropping the football. That either by air or by handoff. I just don't believe in it. It's against my religion. It's professional football. And if I throw it to you and trust you, you should, your nose growing? Check out the video. But I just don't believe in Adrian Peterson, his inability to be able to hold the football on a regular basis. Played in 34 games, fumbled it 15 times. Now, what other player in the National Football League would they allow to touch it that many times and give it up? You can't ice the puck. You can't put games away in the end, guys, if you have a running back who can't hold on to it.
CC, I'm going to go with the Colts, and they're playing really great football, but you have to be able to defend the run. Go back to that game they had against the Miami Dolphins. It is a miracle that they won that game with less than 15 minutes time of possession. If I'm the Tennessee Titans, I'm looking to try to run the football and keep 18 on the sideline.
Well, I think it's the New Orleans. When I look at New Orleans, I think it's their secondary. You know, I know that Darren Sharper had 2 interceptions, but overall for them, it's the secondary. Their front seven's playing well, but it's the secondary that concerns me.
Well, I want to look at the Denver Broncos, and I'm going to say one thing. I love Kyle Orton. I love what he's doing, but he's got to keep doing what he's doing now. He can't try to be winning football game by throwing the ball all over the ballpark. I think that's what that coaching staff is going to keep him reined in a little bit.
So you guys leave me the Giants about anything. Although they, you know, they get the 200-plus yard game allowed rushing to Dallas, and the Chiefs actually snuck over 100 yards last week. Are they stout enough? Maybe in the not so much on the line, but in the middle linebacking, are they stout enough there? And of course, the worry is Eli. See how that injury goes, but really not that concerned about the Giants. They're 4-0. An interesting late game between, very interesting game actually, between 2-1 Atlanta and 3-1 San Francisco at Candlestick. Once upon a time, remember, the Falcons used to go in there every year when they were in the NFC West. The Niners are one Brett Favre miracle away from being 4-0. And they're sure listening to what Coach Mike Singletary is preaching, as in, take care of the football. They're +5 in turnovers. Last year, -17. And last week, in shutting out the Rams, 2 scores on offense, 2 scores on defense, 1 score on special teams. That's pretty good, huh, Coach? Good coaching for you. So is the resume quickly being assembled by Matt Ryan and Coach Mike Smith in Atlanta. After losses, these two, 5-0. Falcons come off a bye following their only loss of the year at New England. So, key to this game, Tom, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at Patrick Willis, maybe the best middle National Football League right now. He leads the team in interceptions. He leads the team in tackling. He plays great at the line of scrimmage. He has the most sacks on the football team, and he serves a little popcorn to the rest of his teammates at halftime.
Unbelievable player, Tommy. I'm going with San Francisco's inability or ability to run the football. Looking at Matt Ryan and them coming off the loss in New England, they're going to be impatient if the 49ers are able to keep the football and keep that young quarterback off the football field.
The key to the game for me, fellas, is the Atlanta Falcons have to figure a way out to get Roddy White and Tony Gonzalez involved. In order to get the running game going, you got to stretch the field to get those guys out of the box. The running game has suffered for them a little bit in the last couple of weeks. I look forward to them getting things moving so they can try to win this game at the line of scrimmage.
Well, maybe I'm crazy, but I think the key to the football game is Mike Singletary. He's changed the culture there. They play a whole different style of football. If Coach Walsh is looking down right now, and he saw the 49ers playing, you said, Coach, what do you think? He said, they look like the 84 Bears. They really do. They're trying to do the little things, and they don't have a big passing game right now. Now, Crabtree may help them, but we'll see.
If Coach Walsh was looking down, he'd like what's happened to the tight end, Vernon Davis. Remember, he was booted off the field for the day by Coach Singletary last year. Now, what has he done the last 2 weeks? 3 touchdown catches, 10 catches in all. He's one of the offensive captains. He's a big factor in today's game. Very good game. The Niners, of course, have begun 3-1, and more good news for them. They've come to terms at long last with the #1 draft pick, Michael Crabtree, holding up because he felt he had talent to be paid above the number 10 overall spot he was drafted in. Crabtree found out that perhaps he'd overplayed his hand, and it was time to play some football.
It's a lot of relief, off my shoulders, and I can't wait to be get in this locker room with my teammates, get under Coach Mike Singletary and, go out there and play on Sundays. I'm very humble right now, man, and it's a very humbling experience. And, just getting a chance to sit back and better myself as a person, as a player, as a teammate.
So you were saying holding out all those days made you humble?
Well, I'm not just saying it made me humble, but it's a very humbling experience.
Well, Adam, let's bring you here. The Niners, we should tell folks, they have a 2-week exemption before they must put him on the roster. But so it missed only today's game because next week the 49ers happen to have a bye. So that brings us to 2 weeks from now at Houston. What about the deal finally agreed upon?
Well, each side right now, Boom, is claiming victory. Michael Crabtree gets a front-loaded deal with $19 million in the first 3 years, $23 million in the first 4 years. But the 49ers get Crabtree for 6 years, and they include provisions in the deal that say he has to be at 90% of all the offseason drills, or else he risks losing $15 million worth of bonus money, so that's a big deal for the Niners. Also, earlier today, Deion Sanders appeared on NFL Network in regards to the story that he said 2 other teams had been interested in Michael Crabtree. He said that Eugene Parker, Crabtree's agent, was his source. Deion said he did nothing wrong, and he's happy to talk to the NFL if the NFL wants to, but they haven't asked just yet.
Deion, MC Hammer, they're all involved, huh? Meanwhile, a team in the search for a big-time wide receiver hopes they found one. Jets traded for a former #1 pick, wide receiver Braylon Edwards of Cleveland, just days after Edwards was allegedly involved in an after-hours altercation. The Jets gave up wide receiver Chancey Stuckey and linebacker Jason Trusnick.
So now that you have a big receiver here, 6'4", 220-plus pounds, can run, can do all of the sort of things, what type of chemistry do you think that you'll have with Braylon?
I think the best part is he knows so much of our offense already. We plugged him in on the first day, and we were running 2-minute drills and stuff. He knows the code words, and we're teaching him the signals on the fly. So he's got a great ability to learn real quick. And then his athletic ability, teams need to respect him. He's a great player. And, he can go up and make catches for you, and that's going to free up Jaco and Dustin and Leon out of the backfield. So it's going to be perfect for all of us. And it's not just a one-guy offense. We're spreading the ball out really well before he got here, and nothing's going to change.
Well, Key's full conversation with the Jets rookie quarterback, Mark Sanchez. That's our Sunday night conversation. Thanks for doing that, Key. We'll have lots of it on our Monday Night Countdown show as we preview the Jets game at Miami. That's from 7 to 8:30 tomorrow night. Now, we are only at the quarter pole, and already the 2009 season has provided us with some chills and some spills, some pows and some wows, and some, dare we say it, some whooping it up and some whoops. I don't usually do that on camera. But here's a look at our top 10 plays to date. Here we go, because it's been a lot of fun. It began the opening Thursday night, defending champion Pittsburgh, and what does he do? Troy Polamalu. Remember this? I know he's been hurt, but he's unbelievable. He got injured later in the game, but boy, he left us with a memory already. It's pretty good when you can be a defensive lineman and get a hat trick. Senor, it was Osi Manura. The strip, the recovery, and the recovery for a touchdown against Jason Campbell for the G-Man. Darren Sharper. Only Hall of Famer Rod Woodson has returned more interceptions for touchdowns than Darren Sharper. Darren got to go all the way. That's 10 interceptions for TD. The Saints are 4-0. Johnny Knox has been gold for the Bears in the return game. But so is Darryl McGee, the Bears ball boy. They both could go all the way. Look at him run. It's a dead heat. 102 yards, Knox. 101, McGee. Adrian Peterson. Talk about whoops. Against Cleveland, second half. Whoop! Then one. Whoop! Then another move, and then it's get out of my way. Peterson with a $180 on opening week. He had 3 touchdowns. 4th and 2. Ray Lewis has made many big plays. Came in the line, bang! Darren Sproul. Lewis called us one of the biggest plays of his career. As the Ravens won at San Diego. They're off the schneid. Matthew Stafford, Brian Johnson, and then at the end, could they beat the Skins?
A hook and lateral, they get it to Betts, and Betts is going to be taken down. 3 zeros on the clock. Game over. Losing streak over. Nightmare over.
Nightmare over indeed. And with the game tied 10-10, nightmare for Dallas. Kyle Orton, Brandon Marshall, and watch the movie makes right here. What? And the Cowboys are every which way but loose. Marshall and the Broncos have the winner for the 4-0 squad and coach and player hug. Tom, this is your day. You're honored today at the stadium, although you're here. And with just seconds to go, you've never seen this. 28 seconds ago, Kyle Orton tip, doink, into the hands of Brandon Stokely, who also was smart enough to kill a few seconds running down the field. Opening week, they beat the Bengals. Gee, I wonder what number 1 is, though. If we have all the 12 seconds of Brett Favre to the back of the end zone against the Niners.
8 seconds left. He gets away from the pressure. Fires to the end zone. It's shot! It's Greg Lewis! Touchdown! Oh, my heavens! Greg Lewis! Welcome to Minnesota! Oh, my heavens!
How was that?
Pretty good.
I get that.
Not so much me. It's fun, man.
It's
okay.
Fun.
It's fun.
That's it.
That's what. Hey, thank you guys for providing all those plays for us. And now what do we know, Huddle? So we are now. Why not? All right. So quarter poll. Who gets an A+ so far?
Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, they're playing the best quarterback of his career right now.
I'm going with Denver Broncos and overall what they're doing, the organization, what they went through this offseason.
I'm going to go with the same exact words as him. Josh McDaniel, what they went through. Overall, hey.
The New Orleans Saints, because nobody thought they'd be there.
Correct. All right, so those are A+. An F so far, first quarter. Who gets an F on the report?
Jamarcus Russell. Oh. No, it's not an F, because he's not even in school. He's suspended from school. But I hear things.
But he got things. He got another student in class, Darius Hayward Bay. I'm still yelling. Remember, we were doing the draft and I yelled at him? Right. 3 names, 2 catches. First round.
Entire Cleveland Brown organization. It's just everything. Everything.
Whole state of Missouri. You figured it out.
Swam gets an F thus far. Bad picks. Lasting image of the first quarter of the year.
That top 10 list, Brett Favre. That long touchdown is going to stick with me for a while.
I think Brett Favre in the truck with Coach coming to practice. That will stick with me.
Brett Favre just coming back to play football and playing so well.
Tommy hit it. That's a big-time play. But the other one was the block going downfield, making the block.
MVP thus far this season.
Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning.
I'm going Drew Brees.
Peyton Manning.
You're right. Drew Brees.
He's looking at me.
All right, we're going to have to weigh in for the President Pro Tem of the Senate to break the... That's why they play the whole thing. By the way, Eli Manning, surprise, starting today for the game. That was a real shock. With a couple of games blacked out on... that was fun, guys. Local TV already because they were not sold out on time. The talk has begun again for a team to be put in Los Angeles. Sure, the region still has its Rams fans and its Raiders fans, but they're long gone. The California Senate currently considering a proposal to fast-track development of an NFL-quality stadium in the L.A. area. Always the politician, and, of course, local elections just around the corner. Our Kenny Mayne tells us where the good folks of L.A. stand on the issue in the main event.
Los Angeles used to have the Rams. Deacon Jones was good. And it used to have the Raiders. Marcus Allen was good. Good and gone. To St. Louis and back to Oakland.
What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it?
They don't really know what they want or when they want it, but they're going to know soon when I tell them what they should know.
Actor Christine Taylor, the wife of gifted actor Ben Stiller, loves her pro football, and it shows.
Trying to bring football back to L.A. It's coming back, yes. Should have gone to Kinko's. Spent so much time focusing on the T-shirts.
The acronym AWFUL, I mean, don't most causes go with something more positive?
Yes, but it's awful that there's no pro football team here in L.A. And I'm glad you asked me what awful stands for, Ken. It's actors who want football up in L.A.
How many actors now?
Well, just me, for now.
To varying degrees, many Angelenos have suffered greatly for the absence of pro football.
It was tough growing up in L.A. We had perfect weather, miles and miles of beaches, beautiful women. Try walking in my shoes.
It don't really matter to me. Keep the spotlight on me. I mean, us, obviously.
Well, I know there's no pro football in L.A., but guess what? There's pro hockey here. You guys can cover it once in a while. It's hard to leave you, by the way.
Oh, there's no pro football in L.A.? What's the Galaxy? Caber tossing? I mean, come on, who said that? Christine? Ben Stiller's wife?
Joining us now is actor Christine Taylor, who's Ben Stiller's wife. Christine, where do things stand with the vision?
Really? You had to throw the Ben thing in there to give me some legitimacy? I played Marsha Brady in 2 freaking movies, okay? Listen, football, it's not just a man's sport, okay? Nobody understands me.
Christine, I'm so sorry. Honestly,
It is my quest to bring football back to Los Angelinos, and I'm gonna do it soon. You bet your bottom dollar I will. I'm sorry.
She took it hard, huh?
Yeah.
When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it?
So how close are you to landing a team in L.A.?
Actually, how close is it to noon?
It's quarter to noon.
I'm late for lunch at the Ivy.
I gotta tell you, some humor in the Stiller household, that's for sure. Kenny, and the new season of Main Street begins online. We thank the Stillers for helping us out, Mrs. Stiller. Tuesday, October 13th, Jimmy Kimmel joins the gang in episode 1 of Main Street Online. And Primetime Sports Center. We have fun. We go over all the games. I mean, that's what we do. If you haven't found us yet, I mean, we have a good time. Begins at 7 and goes right until the Sunday kickoff at 8:20, so come on and join us.
Coming up on Sunday Countdown, last week, protection of the quarterback in the NFL became an issue. I'm going to talk pros and cons.
Peyton Manning's been a magician, turning first downs into touchdowns.
Short ox! Richmond, Florida, Buffalo!
Why first down is go time for Indy. Plus, Ocho Cinco usually does most of the talking for the Bengals.
I'm looking forward to making him kiss the baby.
Now it's Marvin Lewis's turn. He'll join us moments before kickoff in Baltimore. And game picks and game breakers. Plus, which teams are on upset alert? Next. This is Sunday NFL Countdown, presented by IBM.
The NHL comes to primetime on ESPN America. #1 draft pick John Tavares is getting used to the spotlight. But it'll be the Kings looking to steal the headlines in New York. Live primetime Monday night NHL, only on ESPN America.
Megatron. Calvin Johnson. How about that?
That guy's a stud.
Like that Frogger game. He just whoop, 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 found the end zone. Orlovsky takes and throws left side once Calvin goes up, pulls it in. Touchdown, Detroit Lions.
NFL on ESPN America.
For the widest choice of official North American sports merchandise, for the perfect gift to collect or just to look good and support your team, visit ESPNAmerica.com.
So he's leaving the ring, still talking, and I reckon he'll be talking all the way home, and I reckon he'll be talking in his sleep tonight, and that man will never, ever stop talking.
For over 2 decades, Muhammad Ali shook up the world with his robust rhetoric and forged some of the most electrifying fights ever. Never afraid to stand up for what he believed in, the beast stung and sometimes got bitten, but he never gave up the fight. He called himself the greatest, and he probably was. We bring you his best bouts both inside and outside the ring. Ali, in October on ESPN Classic.
In a land surrounded by colourful sights and proud history, its people share a connection to the land and they like to express it in various forms. One of the biggest events in Madeira Island is its annual bull race. This celebration gives tribute to the beasts of burden that makes man's connection to the land possible. Considered by many to be the Kentucky Derby of bull racing, the bulls run at an incredible 40 miles an hour, and the only way to stop these animals is by diving for the break. 30 heats are run by 2 teams at a time in a standard elimination format, which eventually leads to the crowning of the champion. Stay tuned for more amazing games right here on ESPN.
Monday Night Football on ESPN America. Catch some of the weekend's best plays and get an inside look at the big game with Monday Night Countdown. Then it's showtime as the Dolphins return to Monday Night Football, looking for a win against the New York Jets. Monday Night Football, only on ESPN America.
Back to Sunday NFL Countdown, presented by IBM.
Been quite a discussion this week to flag or not to flag. When to flag a late hit or flagrant hit on roughing the passer, depending on if the passer is Tom Brady or maybe someone else. Discussion among those who watch the NFL and those who play.
It really goes both ways. I mean, we've had plenty of roughing the passer quarterbacks that go against our team, and we get some sometimes. So I never think those guys are being malicious out there. It's a tough call for the ref.
It's embarrassing to let a defensive player play his heart out, do everything he can, and you call something like that. Wow, he's a man. They can be like us.
I think next year they're going to throw in the two-hand touch rule. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. You know, a two-hand touch the quarterback and it's a sack, you know. But until then, I'm going to continue to be me, and we're going to continue to play football the way we play football, and that's violent.
The inconsistency of the calls has, more than anything else, caused this week's debate. Why debate when we can show it? You can see more penalties called thus far. In our EA Sports virtual playbook, Tom, you rushed the passer. What's the biggest question about all of this?
Boom, first, this is not about Tom Brady. It's about the quarterback and protection of the quarterback. As Tom Brady goes back to throw last week, you can see the Ravens defender getting his hands up, trying to knock the ball down. Arm comes across Brady's head. Obvious personal foul call, 15 yards on the Ravens. This is Jamarcus Russell going back to throw. He gets hit in the head. Obvious contact, thrown down to the ground, no call. So the couple of things we want to talk about today is consistency and subjectivity. First of all, let's talk about what's available to a defender. I'm going to play the role of outside linebacker. As Tom Brady takes the snap, I'm going to make my way off the football. As I come in, when I get to Brady, I can see that he's getting ready to release that football. I get my hand up. I'm going to try to knock it down. But after I come through, I'm going to hit Tom Brady in the head. Is it a glancing blow? Does it do any damage? Does it knock him to the ground? That's where subjectivity comes in. I think as you look at the same thing in that batter's box I always talk about, from the neck down to the just above the knee area, I think that, again, officials have to be able to judge. Did I get pushed as a defender? Is it a glancing blow? Did I make contact at all? The one thing that we don't want to do is change fundamentally how the game is played. Let's take a look at an extreme example. 3 years ago, Matthias Kiwanuka has Vince Young in his grasp. He had incurred a personal foul roughing the passer penalty the week before. He lets him go. It changed the outcome of that game. So I think that we can see some improvement in this area if officials will just use that black and white rule book along with a little bit of subjectivity. Boom.
All right, Tommy, thank you. Let's bring Mort in now. Certainly the roughing the passer to call or not to call. Mort, a hot button this week. What can we add?
Yeah, listen, and Tommy's right. They want a black and white rule. That's what the NFL wants, and they want it because owners in the competition committee want it that way. They do not want subjectivity. They want it clear cut, and they say we're not just protecting quarterbacks. Hey, we got horse collar rules, we got blindside block rules and what have you. But let me tell you something that the competition committee doesn't like and is probably going to discuss after the season, and that's Tom Brady getting up and acting like he's throwing a yellow flag. Creates the perception that he's controlling the referee's call. Don't forget, punters can be penalized unsportsmanlike conduct for faking that they've been hit. In the NBA, they do it for charging fouls, and they might take it up for quarterbacks trying to draw a foul. Let the officials officiate the game, Mr. Brady. Maybe next year, it could be a 15-yard penalty for Brady, Boomer.
All right, Mort, thank you. Well, Sunday night, quite a change from last season when the Colts were at Tennessee. It was Week 8. The Titans won that game in Week 8, 31-21, which at the time made them 7-0, made Indy 3-4. That was the last regular season loss for the Colts, who reeled off 9 straight wins to roar into the playoffs. That's the predicament facing Tennessee tonight, who at 0-4, they cannot afford to take on any more water. Their pass defense has been leaky, which is not the prerequisite for facing Peyton Manning. 4 games, 4 wins, 4 300-yard passing days for Manning, and tonight he has a chance to blow by Hall of Fame quarterback Fran Tarkenton on 2 of the biggest-time honor rolls. 1 touchdown pass puts him 3rd all-time. 40 yards passing puts him 5th all-time. Psst, he's just 33 years old. Plenty of reason for our Merrill Hodge to zoom in on number 18 in the IBM Insight Center.
Thanks, Boom. We've been at the IBM Insight Center all week, digging away, trying to find solutions for issues that exist in the NFL. Now, there is no bigger issue if you're the Tennessee Titan defense trying to slow down Peyton Manning and this offense. As I've studied them throughout the weeks, as they continue to get better, I think they could be better than the 2007 Patriot offense. First down is going to be key for the Tennessee Titans. Look what Peyton Manning does on first down. Touchdowns. And it doesn't matter if it's to Clark, or to Wayne, or to Garcon. He distributes the ball equally. So here's what you have to do for your solution if you're Tennessee. Try to create some pressures to get after Peyton Manning with as few people as possible to disrupt his timing. Then, in conjunction, pressure on the wide receivers at the same time at the line of scrimmage. You break down the rhythm of the wide receivers and Peyton Manning, you have a shot. And Peyton Manning has been sacked 2 times. When? On first down. So if Tennessee can do that on first down, a lot of 2nd and long, 3rd and long, therefore they have a chance to win this one.
All right, Merrill, we'll keep our eye on it tonight. The Colts uniform, pretty close to the same as it was back in the day when it was worn by the Baltimore Colts. With the moving vans, you remember, slinked out of town at night in March of 1984. The city's longtime devoted fans were left in shock and in disbelief. Academy Award-winning filmmaker Barry Levinson, himself a Baltimore native and a Colts fanatic, directs the latest installment of ESPN Films' 30 for 30 documentary, The Band That Wouldn't Die. Through the eyes of the Colts marching band, a unit that never disbanded despite the team's departure from Baltimore, Levinson shows how a fan base copes with losing the team it loves. Here's a preview.
I'm trying to retain what little dignity I have left in this matter. And second, if the Colts had to sneak out of town at night, it degrades a great tradition of the city in football. And I guess the third thing would be, I hate to see a man cry.
I don't think any of us slept that night, did we? We cried.
I drank a lot of beer and cried, yeah. No, it's physically, I remember physically sitting in front of the TV weeping. I mean, they had taken something dear away from me. It hurt, personally. I mean, it hurt.
Well, it's like being married for 25 years and your wife leaves you for someone else. And you see her, like occasionally you'd see her on the street, like you'd see the Colts on TV, and you couldn't quite watch it. It hurt too much. Yeah. It's not just the game, not just team, it was everything involved. We were emotionally attached. And when they leave you, there's a big void there that never quite heals. It never quite heals.
Everybody was downhearted, broken. They were just, it was like being in a daze because we didn't think anybody would do something like that. And when they left town on that snowy night and you saw pictures of it, I don't know, it's just like you lost your best friend.
That'll be Tuesday night at 8 Eastern on ESPN. There's the Ravens marching band at home, continuing their tradition in the land of the crab cakes. Bengals coach Marvin Lewis used to coordinate defense for the Ravens. He's in town today as Cincinnati's head coach. He was kind enough to speak with our Rachel Nichols earlier.
Well, Coach, Carson Palmer told me that he used to have these dreams of saving the game and winning it at the last minute. He says now he just dreams of taking a knee in the fourth quarter. What do you tell your team about trying to wrap it up a little earlier today?
Well, you know, it's the best thing is to win the football game, and if it takes 4 quarters and every second of it, we got to be ready to do that, and that's what it's taken thus far this year.
Very emotional week, obviously, for the coaching staff. Coach Mike Zimmer's wife, Vicki, died. What was it like when he came to you and said, you know what, I want to coach in this game?
Well, you know, we really had to leave everything up to Mike and Mike's wishes, and all we could do is just be very supportive of whatever decisions he made, and along with his family. So, you know, we're just going to keep wrapping our arms around he and his family, and just let him deal with this as he has to and goes through it.
What has it been like for him and the team over the last 24 hours?
Well, obviously, it's just such a shock, and I think our guys are very resilient as they've been, and they want to play their tails off for Mike today.
Thank you very much, Rachel, Coach Lewis, and our thoughts with Mike Zimmer, his family, as we remember his wife, Vicki. Picks, you know, I'm an underdog player, and it's been a favorite year, so there you go. I'm in last. You guys pick the favorites, of course you're ahead. Here we go, Bengals at the Ravens. Let's go to this game where a lot of people are, there's a lot of things on everybody's mind today.
I'm going to change my pick and go with the Bengals. I know that might say something different there. I'm going to go with the Bengals just because I feel like there's going to be something added. I literally just decided that as I was watching Coach Lewis speak.
I'm going with the Ravens. I believe that their overall passing ability early in the season carries them to an exceptional level as a team.
I'm going to go with the Ravens because I think their balance on offense and defense is, you know, that much better than the Cincinnati Bengals.
When you would think I would say the number 2 rated offense, that's the Ravens.
I'm going with Baltimore, although obviously they'll be respecting both sides of the field for what is going on. Bengals, of course, and also the Ravens, but I'm going with Baltimore. I just think they're really have a chance to go places. Falcons at the Niners. Tough game, late game.
I'm taking the Niners. I just think that Coach hit it on the head. They've got a different mental attitude because of Mike Singletary. I think that'll be the difference today.
Much respect to what Mike is doing there in the Bay Area, but Atlanta, coming off a bye week, really did not perform well in New England. I look for them to respond well with Mike Smith.
Coming from that New England game, going to a bye, I think, you know, traveling, I still think that they get some guys involved on offense and they get back going.
Refuse to lose. That's Mike's motto. They're going to win. 49ers.
I never thought I would quote this stat. I believe Sean Hill, as a starter, has not lost at Candlestick. Niners. Look at the Niners. Patriots at the Broncos. Tom.
Broncos naming their 50th anniversary team. Who am I going to pick? I'm taking the Broncos.
I'm taking the Pats. Still not going to spoil your day, though, Tommy. You're still the best.
I'm going to go with the Pats, Tom.
Absolutely the Pats.
Patriots have played an undefeated team, I know, including week 1, every week. Yeah. Interesting. Here's another one undefeated. I'm going with the Patriots.
So you're all taking...
You're all
the Patriots.
Upset alert. We have a lot of big-time teams playing what look on paper to be, as Tom called them the other week, tomato cans. Who could lose a game they shouldn't today?
I think the Giants are a little bit vulnerable because of the run game. And that means Kansas City's got to do it. But I think that it's been proven you can run against them.
I think the Colts are vulnerable because they're going against a division foe, knows them well, and they're the most talented team playing against undefeated teams.
I think it's the Dallas Cowboys against the Kansas City Chiefs. We've been here before. Dallas versus the Rams. Team's very sorry, and all of a sudden, they lose the game.
Well, I think it's the Jets going to Miami. I think Miami's going to pull an upset.
I think Dallas and Kansas City ought to beware. I agree with you, Key. Something smells in that game. It just does. Unanimous picks. We hope none of them smell it. We're all on the Giants, though. We're all on the Eagles. We're all on the Vikings. We're all on the Colts, which you never would have thought that when that schedule came out, that's for sure. Game breakers, Tom. Let me guess.
Well, not better than Patrick Willis. I'm linebacker on linebacker. Comes to stopping Michael Turner, Patrick Willis. Tony Gonzalez, Patrick Willis. Pressure on the passer, Patrick Willis. So if Patrick Willis has a good game, 49ers win.
The best little man in football, MJD. If the Jags have something to be excited about, it's this man right here. One of my favorite players in the National Football League, not because of his running ability, but because of two things. His ability to be able to block as a running back and the ability to be able to come out of the backfield and catch the football.
You know, Matt Ryan, I think he needs to get his mojo back, get things going, put the football in the playmakers' hands. Tony Gonzalez, Roddy White, put some points on the board. He's capable of doing it. He's my game breaker, Boom.
Well, you saw him last week on Monday night. Jared Allen, Minnesota Vikings, pretty good defensive end. Plays whistle to whistle, 6.5 sacks, 4.5 last week. Causes a lot of fumbles, too, when he hits those guys.
Well, I think, guys, that Tom Brady and the offense are coming. And can they take Denver out of their comfort zone and just score 17 or 20 through 3 quarters and make Denver do something they don't want to do? As Coach said, throw the football. So if the Patriots win, it's because Brady and company pushed the issue. I like their chances. Back with a final word or two in a moment.
Insight Center is brought to you by IBM. Let's build a smarter planet. Visit ibm.com/smarterplanet.
There are moments when time seems to stop and the world holds its breath. Because life isn't measured by the number of breaths you take, but by the moments that take your breath away. Celebrate those moments with ESPN Classic, the official FIFA World Cup films on ESPN Classic.
For the widest choice of official North American sports merchandise, for the perfect gift to collect or just to look good and support your team, visit espnamerica.com.
Manning trying to go quickly. The throw downfield. He's got it 40. Touchdown. Manning looks, pumps, throws to the end zone. Touchdown, Marvin Harrison. Peyton on first down. They air it out deep, intended for Reggie Wayne. Reggie's got it! That was a perfect throw. Manning takes the snap, sets up, throws downfield, open is a dive. Touchdown, Joseph Adai!
NFL on ESPN America. There's no challenge too great for the Vikings' Adrian Peterson. In just his second season, the running back led the NFL with over 1,700 rushing yards. Also a weapon in the passing game, number 28 can do it all.
And it's an Adrian Peterson touchdown!
In Peterson, the NFL has found its newest superstar.
Countdown is presented by IBM. Let's build a smarter planet. Visit ibm.com/smarterplanet. And in part by the Samsung LED TV, the official HD TV of the NFL.
For Buffalo, it's their only 1 o'clock kickoff in the first 2 months. 1-3 Bills host the winless Browns. Cleveland has now lost 10 straight, and their last win, a Monday night thriller last season, over Buffalo. This week, Browns traded their marquee receiver. Braylon Edwards is out. Chancey Stuckey from the Jets is in. 2-2 Jags make the long trip northwest to the 1-3 Seahawks for the first time since 2001. Hasselbeck returns after missing 2 games with broken ribs. Seattle is 0-2 in his absence. The Jags have won 2 in a row, including last week's rout of the Titans. Quarterback David Garrard threw for 323 yards and 3 scores. Well, we hope you enjoyed our Columbus Day Sunday edition of Sunday NFL Countdown. We'll see you on the Blintz tonight in primetime sports. I wonder if it's going to be another roll for these big teams against the tomato cans, or if there's some shockers. Congratulations again, Tom. For Tom and Chris and Key and Coach Adam and Mort, I'm Chris Berman, College.
ESPN America, your home for live NFL.